Hello, Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Hope you're all safe, sound, and healthy. And I'm going to consider this my sort of wrap up to the whole India attacks Pakistan series. Why? Because what I started this series with, the questions I posed, the suspicion that I expressed, the doubts, the concerns, the fact that, it's an act of betrayal on our army's part, that it's I scratch your back, you scratch my bark, the toxic relationship. All those points that I made right at the start, when I'm sorry to say, all the very senior analysts and journalists and critical thinkers failed. They failed to make those points, or they failed to see those points, or they probably didn't, arrive at those points yet. Now they're asking those questions. Now they're making those points. Now they're wondering, how is it that the army, the Pakistani army, had so many days to prepare, but they allowed 24 missiles to come through? And what were they doing, Now they're asking, how is it that you think that downing 5 of their jets equates 31 lives, innocent lives? How is it that you think giving them $1 billion worth of financial loss by downing said jets, you can compensate for the innocent lives, the children that died? My question with regards to the integrity of our government and our army in this scenario, with regards to their act of treason in this scenario, is now being at least put forward. Even if in implied, I consider that they have, yes, kind of questioned it. They have implied that there is something here that needs to be answered. So I began the series with this question, with these questions. I began the series with these doubts. I began the series with all of these statements. And I'm glad to see that now finally people like Dr. Shahbaz Gill and moeed Pirzada and Samina Pasha are now asking these questions. The questions are the same. It doesn't matter if they ask it differently. The questions are the same. The doubts are the same. The concerns are the same. Okay? They might be slightly differing, but they are essentially the same. Where, the fact that people are finally beginning to ask critical questions, I'm happy about that. I've noticed that they usually seem to take their time. I don't know if it's deliberate or if they just arrive at that conclusion later on. But I'm glad to see that they eventually arrive there. The fact that India targeted our dam, the Neelam, Jhelum. So imagine that I told you it's all about water. It's about control. It's about controlling Kashmir. It's about trying to control the water. It's about, all these points that I've been making, they're all coming forward. The fact that they are saying that they attacked, camps, militant camps, but actually, no, they attacked mosques, they attacked civilian areas, they tried to attack the dam. So what does that tell you? The fact that I have been questioning the retaliation of our army, that's it. You just downed their planes and you think that's fine. You see, now people are asking that question. I'm happy to say. The fact that they issued a blackout, as I said, we kind of did a self-imposed blackout here, but the army imposed a blackout in Sialkot and Pindi, giving the impression that either they were going to do something or they're expecting India to do something. The fact that Rana Sanaullah had the audacity to say that, they attacked us, we downed their planes, that's fine, period, it's over. You serious? The fact that I've been questioning how and why India always does what it wants to do, it tells us to help it save face. And then we're told to take it lying down, because whenever you have Nawaz Sharif Zardari government, you will always see this happening. You will always see India dragging you. You will always see your government, your army taking it lying down, with just a cursory retaliation, just a cursory. counteract action. All these questions that I asked, all the harsh words that I said, the fact that the army, as I said, was going to use this situation to distract us so that it can stab us in the back, try to eliminate Imran Khan. So look at what they're doing. Suddenly this very day when they're talking about us standing united against the enemy, they decide that they actually have the time. They didn't have the time to retaliate against India. They didn't have the time to properly give a response within 15 minutes, half an hour, despite their 15-day prep and drill work. But they had the time to go to the Supreme Court and ask it to allow military trials and to allow especially military trial of Imran Khan. What does that tell you? Is this a partnership between India and Pakistan to benefit the two governments at our expense or not? Is this a partially false flag operation conducted with the help of the enemy by the Pakistani army to try to divert our attention while it robs us blind, while it tries to maintain more control over us? Is this not the handiwork of traitors? I started with all of these. My very, very last podcast was again a very harsh one on the lack of PR work, the lack of narrative, the lack of evidence showing, the lack of fuss making, the lack of propaganda on our part always, as opposed to India. And you will soon see that also come out majorly. I think we can very safely arrive at the conclusion that all those questions, the lack of actual proper retaliation by the army on time, as I said, if this is the window. Even now they have a window. If they don't do anything proper now, if they don't give an actual accurate response now, then it's too late. Then anything that they do later on will be resulting in a full-blown war. Mark my words. Well, this is me signing out. Closing this chapter, because now I'm not even going to comment on it, because now you will see things unfold. You will see things unfold domestically. You will see how much the army has used this to its advantage, how much the army worked with India to cause this, so that they can try to stab us a little more deeper in the back. This is me signing out. Khuda Hafiz.